Russia's T-72 Arena M fighter jet enters the field of combat. Russia's Zelensky-class fighter jet enters the field of combat of Ukraine's territory, and the right to control a nuclear power plant in Zaporizhia could be factors in the negotiations. According to Kiev Independent, the control of the nuclear power plant in Zaporizhia, ZNPP, was actively discussed by Kiev and Washington over the past week. President Zelensky confirmed that the fate of the plant and the territory of Ukraine in Zaporizhia had been discussed with the United States in bilateral talks in Saudi Arabia over the past week. Experts said that the right to control the plant was a difficult target for Ukraine and that the ability to maintain a long-term military presence there without pushing the Russian military out of the surrounding territories was an impossible choice. Kiev hopes to regain the nuclear power plant through diplomatic measures after military efforts to regain the right to control failed. Meanwhile, the U.S. Special Envoy has said that a joint ceasefire in Ukraine could be reached in the next few weeks. In a statement on Russian-U.S. telecommunications, U.S. Special Envoy Donald Trump praised the talks between the two leaders as a step forward. According to Witkoff, the two sides have made more progress than in the past 3.5 years in the important steps to build trust. The U.S. official said, "I really think that in a few weeks, we will reach a ceasefire." Previously, according to analysts, the long-awaited talks between Mr. Trump and Mr. Putin almost did not bring any significant results. Moscow once again responded in two ways. In addition to the limited ceasefire, Russia has used a one-week delay and a phone call to emphasize that Moscow wants the West to stop all aid activities and share intelligence information to Ukraine as part of the agreement. A close-up shot of the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine has confirmed that the Russian military has deployed a new variant of the T-72B3M main battle tank, equipped with an active defense system called the new Arena M. Earlier in August last year, many reports said that Russia's new main battle tank, the T-90M model, which is currently being produced, has been equipped with the Arena M system. Some other reports reveal that the T-72 model, which has been modernized, will also be equipped with this system. The Russian tank was previously only equipped with the Stora soft defense system, which could not take the initiative to attack incoming missiles, but instead warned the driver and helped the tank to stop. Meanwhile, the Arena M uses a radar system to continuously track the surrounding environment, to detect incoming threats. And when it detects a flying missile, the system will automatically track its trajectory calculation and deploy defense missiles to take the initiative to hit and destroy it before it hits the tank. The most famous system of the same type is the Trophy of Israel. It has been integrated into this country's Merkava 4 tank since 2008. Although Russia has developed a new active defense system since the 1980s, many variants of the Arena system have been developed, but due to lack of funding, they are mainly imported for export. The lack of a hard-to-destroy has made Russian tanks lag behind advanced tanks. When the K2 model of South Korea uses the KPS active defense system, the Chanma-2 model of North Korea and the Type 99A model of China also integrate similar systems. However, Western tanks are still lagging behind in deploying such systems, as has been proven recently when the M1A1 Abrams, Leopard 2, and Challenger 2 continuously encounter problems in actual combat in Ukraine. The integration of Arena M into the T-72B3 shows that this type of tank continues to be prioritized in the development of the T-72B3M. The T-72B3M is the latest version of the T-72 tank line, equipped with many significant upgrades compared to the previous versions in terms of firepower, mobility, and defense. The main improvements of the T-72B3M include the V92S2F firepower control system with a power of 1,130 horsepower and a fire suppression device. However, the T-72B3M is a special upgrade. This system is specially designed to deal with threats from many directions. It increases the defense capability against high-speed rounds of ATGM-guided anti-tank missiles or RPG anti-tank guns. This additional layer of defense helps reduce the risk of the tank's armor being pierced, thereby increasing the survivability of the T-72B3M on the battlefield. The integration of the Arena M with the T-32B or M instead of only for the new T-90M and T-14 Amata tank lines confirms the role of the T-72 tank line in modern warfare. With more than 20,000 tanks produced since the 1970s, the T-72 tank has been deployed on many battlefields and is still in service in the army of many countries around the world. Upgrading these tanks with active defense technology helps extend their operating time and can deal with the most modern anti-tank systems. Kyiv Independent reported that the Supreme Court of Ukraine has just decided to sentence Judge Pablo Volk, head of the Kyiv Administrative Court, OSC. He was charged with establishing a criminal organization and trying to seize power. According to the official announcement released on March 18th, Judge Volk was charged with serious violation of the law, neglecting a serious mission, and having a system that is not in line with his position. The Anti-Corruption Action Center reported that Volk did not appear in court before the Supreme Court, but instead submitted many complaints, including requests for dismissal of members of the court and suspension of the trial. At the meeting, members of the Supreme Court, Oksana Kvasya, proposed the dismissal of Volk. All 14 members of the court support this proposal. The Supreme Court of Ukraine is currently handling a criminal case against Judge Volk and his accomplices. For many years, prosecutors, investigators, and courts have hindered the implementation of cases against him. Meanwhile, according to Moscow Sky, a Russian news agency, some Ukrainian military units are preparing for an armistice to overthrow President Vladimir Zelensky, which the SBU security agency has to investigate. These channels provide confidential information to the SBU security agency, revealing that the commanders and soldiers in those units are seriously discussing the details of the uprising through the communications channel. The military units include the 3rd Independent Tank Brigade, the 157th Armored Brigade, the 79th Independent Air Assault Brigade, the 35th Independent Army Brigade, and the 121st Territorial Defense Brigade. The dissatisfaction of the Ukrainian military units comes from many factors, including a long conflict, a great loss of military power, corruption of the higher-ups, and the disappointment of Zelensky's performance in the debate with U.S. President Donald Trump on February 28th at the White House. The SBU source added that these units are planning to attract as many allies as possible and then to occupy the Ukrainian Republic of Naroda. In case of failure, they will launch a missile attack on the site where Zelensky is and other targets with the first-person drone. The Zelensky administration has not commented on the above information. However, Mariana Bajukla, a representative for Naroda, said that the Ukrainian parliament was concerned about the threats to Zelensky. In addition to the rumors in the country, Bajukla said that Washington could use the measure to remove the Ukrainian leader. Bajukla said, unfortunately, the U.S., Russia, and some other parties are preparing a plan to replace Zelensky with a more vulnerable figure. Earlier, on February 17th, Trump said that Ukraine may have to hold an election and affirmed that President Zelensky is not actually a citizen. For more UN videos, visit www.un.org and subscribe to this channel.